This story is going to require me to have 2 cups of coffee this morning. I haven't been tuned in to politics the last couple of days. Well, I kind of know what's going on, but I haven't been watching news and reading articles and, really doing videos on politics the last couple of days. So I wake up this morning, turn on the news, and this is what they're talking about. This is South Dakota governor and one of the candidates on the short list for Donald Trump's vice president, Kristi Noem. We've talked about Kristi Noem over here on my page one time before. And that was when the Daily Mail did an exclusive expose article on Kristi Noem having an affair with that pipsqueak, Corey Lewandowski. You might remember Corey Lewandowski at one point back in the day on CNN. He was a political contributor for CNN, right? CNN would have these battles, would have these debates where they had political commentators that were standing for the Democrat side, and they had political commentators that were standing for the Republican side, i.e. Donald Trump. For the Democrat side, you had Angela Rye, you had Bakari Sellers, you had Simone Sanders, you had April Ryan, and you had a few others. I can't remember them all off the top of my head. But then on the Republican side, you had Corey Lewandowski, you had Kayleigh McEnany, you had Jason Miller, you had those individuals that supported the Republicans / mostly Donald Trump. This right here was a viral story. Because Kristi Noem is not single. Kristi Noem is a married woman. So for the Daily Mail to put out that very detailed article on the fact that these two could be smashing, baby, they had timelines. They had receipts. They matched events. Yeah. Well, now Kristi Noem is involved in another viral story because she's an animal killer. She is a psychotic animal killer. She just released a book, and in that book, she has a description of how she murdered her 14-month-old puppy. And in that book, she talks about how much she hated her 14-month-old puppy. Her 14-month-old puppy was a wire-haired pointer puppy that she intended to use as a pheasant hunting dog. The governor of South Dakota, Kristi Noem, described her 14-month-old puppy as aggressive. She wanted to calm down that aggressive personality, so she took the dog on a hunt. And according to the governor, the dog's name was Cricket, didn't so much hunt as have the time of her life chasing birds and going out of her mind with excitement. So she took the dog on a hunt. The dog wasn't interested in hunting. The dog was interested in chasing birds and just having a good time. A 14-month-old puppy. In order to try to calm down her puppy, she used a shock collar. Tried to rein the puppy in with, demands. No, stop, sit, don't do that. Yeah, she tried to rein the puppy in that way. Now, mind you, the puppy ain't had no type of formal training. None. She don't mention anything about the puppy being formally trained to do what she wants it to do. She just got a puppy where the breed was known to be good for hunting. Yeah. Well, after the hunt, she stopped by a friend's farm, and Cricket was going crazy because on the farm, I guess they had some free-range chickens, and the chickens are running around free on the farm, and Cricket got out of the car some kind of way and started chasing after the chickens and ended up killing some of the chickens. This is how Kristi describes that in her book, quote, like a trained assassin. Cricket began grabbing one chicken at a time, crunching it to death with one bite, then dropping it to attack another chicken. Then she goes on to say that South Carolina doesn't have a bill where you can't kill dogs found to be chasing or worrying or injuring or killing poultry. This is Cricket. This is her puppy. Allegedly, this is the picture that's floating around on social media that they are saying is Cricket. After she pays her friends, Kristi Noem, the governor of South Dakota, loaded Cricket up in the car, and on the drive home, she pulled into a construction site and shot Cricket dead. That was her response to an untrained, aggressive puppy. She says in her book, quote, I hated that dog. Less than worthless as a hunting dog. Untrainable, dangerous to anyone she came in contact with. Instead of thinking to herself, let me hire a trainer, because clearly what I'm doing is not giving Cricket the training that she needs. Nope. She could have rehomed Cricket, right? She could have called the Humane Society, and the Humane Society would have taken Cricket and found Cricket a new home. But no. South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem put all of the blame on Cricket and executed Cricket for the crime of being a 14-month-old aggressive puppy who hadn't been formally trained. Her response is simply, they have to make tough decisions like this all the time on a farm. She just had to put down 3 horses, right? And then she goes on to promote her book. She attaches a screenshot of the article that The Guardian wrote. And in that article, The Guardian talked about the goat that she also killed. And South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem is on the short list to become the next Vice President of the United States. That's all I got. I just wanted y'all to know that whiskey is marked safe from Kristi Noem. Yeah, he's out here trying to find the perfect spot to water this morning.